Back in the home office, ready to go, aren't you, Anthony?
We're going to be in Vegas doing our podcast next week?
Maybe.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality.
Everybody, welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's Anthony Melchiori. I'm Glenn Hausman. It's April 28th, 2022. Anthony, so great to see you back at home in New York City.
I did a speaking gig in Austin. I went to the Joe Rogan comedy event at the Vulcan, and I had Terry Black's barbecue and stayed in a beautiful hotel in Beaver Cave. The Sonesta at Beaver Cave. So I had a fun couple of days.
That sounds a whole lot of fun. I drove my kids places yesterday, so that was exciting for me.
That's always fun too.
Yeah. Well, actually, I know you probably have the same kind of thing, but when you're in the car with the kids, it's some of the best time because they're trapped and they've got to talk to you.
This morning, I drove my daughter to the train station at 8 o'clock, I think, and she said, or 9 o'clock, she said, I'm so sorry, thank you for driving me. I was like, it's only 15 minutes I'm going to talk to you today that is uninterrupted.
Right. Yeah.
She wasn't like, she's usually a big talker in the morning, but this morning she didn't feel like talking, but just being with her was good.
Nice. I love it. I love it. That is best. So tonight I'm going to be going, my kids are playing a benefit concert. The jazz band is playing. They're playing like 3 sets. So that should be a whole lot of fun.
Wow.
Enough energy to get through it. But if I could make it through 2 fish shows last week, I can make it through 1 jazz band show. I think. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, guys, next week we'll be out in Las Vegas. It looks like, this is exciting. It looks like MGM is going to do a show with us on Tuesday. Just literally got an email from them this second. We'll be covering the Choice Conference as well, doing a little this and a little of that. As soon as I figure all that out, you'll know because it'll be online. So who knows?
And you're going out there Monday, Glenn?
Yes, I am. And then we'll be in Orlando, and then we'll be back. I'll be back in and hopefully with you again in Vegas the week of the 15th. Going to
so use your connections for Carver next week, will you?
For yeah. All right. That sounds like a good idea. All right, let's get on with it. We've got a great hotelier on today. He's a Julian Star Award winner. So, he's a big deal. He's coming out of Mexico, Mr. Rocco Bova. The reason why Rocco is here today is because he's a GM. He really cut his teeth on that, but maybe decided to change his life around a little bit. He's doing the consulting thing, but he's going to be doing it differently. So, Anthony, I thought this guy's following in your footsteps, going from the GM level to do more interesting things in life. Well, we'd have a good wrap session on that. And also, might I add, Anthony, he's got a whole different way of doing things when it comes to his consultancy that I think you're going to like. Rocco, great to see you, my friend.
Hey, Glenn. Anthony, thank you so much for having me today. And, so glad to be with another 2 award winners. I'm not the only one over here. So congratulations to you too.
So you were born in Italy and you're in Mexico.
I'm told by Mexican that I'm actually Mexican, but I was born in Italy.
Okay.
Because they are so friendly, the people here, and they would really welcome me very well. And I've been having a great time so far. It's over 5 years that I live here with my family. And we recently received our permanent residency. So that means that very, very, very probably we're going to stay here a few more years, or maybe forever.
So tell us a little bit about your background and how you're bringing consulting, how you're changing consulting, and then love to have some conversations in reference to what it looks like in Mexico right now.
Well, let me tell you a little bit how I came to that. I was thinking that maybe consultancy will come to my second life, or maybe my third life, because I'm still young, relatively young. I'm 51, and I still enjoy.
Thank you, as a fellow 51-year-old. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah.
I can't hang out with you guys. You guys are too old for me.
I love the adrenaline of the operation, meeting guests and solving problems and tackling complaints. This is I still love that. It's still part of my life. It's been like this for more than 25 years. So to get into consultancy was not yet ready for me. But then the past 2 months, when I finished one contract for various reasons, I said to my wife, Natalie, what do you think if I get into consultancy? And she said to me, yeah, why not? So when you get to the support also for your family, knowing that consultancy means that one day you earn, the other day you probably don't. But it was great to have also the support from the family, and then I went for it. And just a few words with a few friends, I already have 3 jobs, maybe even a 4th one in a matter of weeks. So, I mean, what I do differently is really no secret. What I'm planning to do differently, that's a different story. But what I did, probably as well as you did, is building a reputation and be consistent over my past life. So if for 25 years a person remain consistent, remain in love with their job, always contribute to the industry in a positive manner, the reputation talk by itself. You don't have to do really much effort. What happened to me also here, Anthony, was also that the positioning, one of the best hotels in Mexico, also helped me to position myself in the country. So a lot of people, they already know me by name because they know the hotel I was working here, Chablé, Yucatan.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Rocco, so let me ask you. Let me ask you this. I want to find out what you're thinking about. What are Mexican hoteliers looking at right now? Because it seems to me, for the most part, y'all were really good beneficiaries of what was happening over the last couple of years. The same thing as the resort properties here in the continental United States. So, what is the frame of mind right now for hoteliers in Mexico, and where are the areas that you are coming in and assisting them with?
There are 2 things that Mexico has. One is the size; it's a huge country, and the second one is the human resources. You have great people that they are very, very oriented to service, and these 2 elements, obviously, it's a no-brainer because when you have a big country with so many landscape and temperature and tropical to desert to mountains to lakes, rivers, and you name it. Everything is available in Mexico. So from a natural perspective, the landscape offer a lot of things. The second thing is obviously to be able to have people that, even though they have no experience, they have a heart for service.
Right.
And when you have that, better than me that you don't really need to teach too much. It comes naturally to serve others. And what's happening in Mexico at the moment is that there is a keen interest in investing in boutique hotels.
Right.
Everywhere, and everybody want to have a boutique hotel somewhere in Mexico. So there are so many Americans that actually are coming to Mexico, buying land or buying an existing property and transform it or operating as a boutique hotel. It's just incredible. In Mérida alone,
what is your unique talent or perspective? There's a lot of hospitality consultants, people who either retire and have so much money, they're bored, they're consultant, they get fired and or they got elevated to the principal and they now are consultant, or they just can't find work and they worked in the hotel for 30 seconds and now they're consultants. So there's so many freaking consultants in our industry. What makes you uniquely qualified to tell people that are developing or opening hotels in Mexico or anywhere? Why? What do you bring to the table that no one else does?
I think you're right. What is the unique selling point for me, and particularly in Mexico, is that there are not many consultants that brings the international experience that I have.
Right.
I've been working in 11 countries. I've been working from islands to city to resort to business hotels. I speak 4 languages. There are not many people like this in Mexico. So Mexico is actually a good playground at the moment for those people like me that they have international exposure, because the majority of Mexican people and even North American people, as a consultant, they only worked in the Americas, possibly in Central America and the Caribbean, and that's it.
So the languages you speak are Spanish, English, Portuguese, and Cantonese.
No, I speak French and Italianese. Yes, true. But when you speak these two languages already, Spanish and English already gives you a great advantage because you get everybody else that everybody speaks English and Spanish to be able to communicate with the locals because not everybody speaks or let's say that everybody speaks English, but they're not very much at ease in speaking in English.
Yeah. So all right. So forget the language thing. Well, let's speak a different language, the language of money over there, right? Where are hoteliers really thinking about they're going to be making their money in the Mexico hotel market right now?
So you see, Glenn, thank you for asking this question.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get there. If you wouldn't ask me, I would get there.
Oh yeah, I know you could just drive the whole conversation. We don't need to participate.
So money is a big deal at the moment.
Yeah.
You see, a lot of companies, we all know that the easy way, and investors, the owners, and everybody was okay. Say, okay, you know what?
Yep.
Let's cut 50%, 70% of the workforce so we can save money during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Was the worst mistake ever that a company could make because today everybody's struggling to find stuff. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
In Mexico, I was fortunate to work for two companies during the pandemic, one in Yucatan and the other one in Coahuila, in the state of Coahuila, which is in the north. And both companies, one better than the other. So the first company, Chablé, actually, I made a deal with the owner and told him, cut my salary first by 50%.
Mm-hmm.
At one condition, keep everyone on the payroll because the moment the business will come back, we need to be ready. If we are not ready, we are cooked.
Right.
And he accepted that.
Mm-hmm.
And we did.
Awesome.
And now business is thriving. The second company actually went even one step further. He didn't cut anyone's salary. So through his other companies that were doing okay during the pandemic, he was able to supply full salary during the pandemic to the people working in the tourist segment of his business, which it was not a lot, but still you have 150 people that you need to pay. I mean, 150 people, that he still is 150 people.
Yep.
And guess what? The moment the business came back, everybody was there, everybody was committed, and everybody sticked around and delivered.
Right.
During this time, I decided to work on a business concept, which is called My Humble House, which I want to present actually to the people I'm consulting at the moment. My Humble House is the hotel concept, the experience in a hotel is the same. I mean, I cannot reinvent that. We all know that. You have a pre-arrival, a choice of hotel, then you have a check-in, you have the experience during the 2-3 days, 1 week you're going to stay, and then you have a check-out, and then you have a post-stay experience. For some hotels, they do it well, and others, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm planning to change is the business model. I think that too long the business model has been that few people make a lot of money,
right,
and the rest of the people make no money. And when these people are not longer needed, they're the first one to go.
So what are you thinking there, Rocco? How are you going to upend the entire business and change the business model over here, my friend?
I'm going to prove it.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Anthony's saying something, but
I said that question was a little skeptical, antagonistic.
It's supposed to be. Come on, man. I got to be the hardcore journalist that people say I am over there.
Okay. Let me add to this before you answer the question. Me and Glenn have been in this business as long, if not longer than you. We understand one thing. This business from the top is very, very revenue driven, very profit driven, like most businesses, but even more so our business. With the mindset that we should really take care of our employees. And I think what you're seeing now is that the employees don't feel taken care of, and now they're rebelling, right? So how are you? I think the rebellion is getting people's attention, so they're a little bit more open to kind of what you're saying. But better than anyone, that's the hardest sell in the world, is to try to take profits and bring it down. I mean, you've seen it in some organizations, but generally speaking, that's a hard sell, my friend, because it is expensive to run these places. So somebody's eating well today, but the owner could be, going in his pocket and doing a cash call tomorrow.
Right.
I'm going to tell you.
Could you explain a cash call to our listeners, Anthony?
Yes. A cash call is the worst experience a hotel owner can have with his GM. Hi, Mr. Glenn. You own the hotel. How are you? We have
great until the end of this conversation.
Well, how do you know it's going to go bad? Well, we have a mortgage payment due, and we have cash flow issues, so we need $2,000. Right? It's probably more like $2 million, but say $2,000. Can I please have $2,000? Now, if I have a good reputation and they understand the circumstances, and I've been communicating and I've been transparent, they're probably prepared for the $2,000, and they're probably going to give me a break because they like me and I communicate. That happens 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times, and I'm going to be like Billy Martin under George Steinbrenner. I'm going to be fired a lot.
But you know, Anthony, I'm going to tell you 2 things.
Yeah.
The first thing is that most owners, they don't use hotel business as such. They use it as a place where they can take some money out of it. Instead of keeping the money in the bank account, they use their money, their earnings, for other things. Correct or not?
Right. Correct.
I'm gonna tell you the second secret. Second secret is there are a lot of stuff that they are forced for one reason or the other to steal from the business.
Mm-hmm.
It's correct or not?
The owners or the employees?
The employees.
Well, I think that is true in a lot of businesses if you don't have controls. I don't think a hotel people steal from more than any other business. However, as I'm catching myself saying that, because 1, 2, 3 hotels that I've worked at, we caught people stealing, and it was usually in accounting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, imagine accounting. Imagine operation. The drink, the soft drinks, the beer. I mean, in a place I found, just to take one inventory. As soon as I joined, I did one inventory, and I took the hamburgers, the meat, the patty. There were 25 kilograms of hamburger missing in a quarter, in 3 months. Right. And I said, sorry guys, there is no way. This is frozen meat. There's no way that this meat is walking out alone. Something is up there. It's either people stealing, selling it to take their money for themselves, or they're eating. So we know that this is a fact. Now, if you take these 2 elements alone, and you actually keep this loss, call it a loss. Let's not call it a stealing. Let's call it a loss in the business, and you actually pay this money to the staff. Right. You're already there. So there are 3 things for my humble house that the investor will need to comply. One is to pay the best salary and the best benefit of the location where they are. The second is to pay 10% of the net profit back to the staff as a bonus. Mm-hmm. And the third one is to keep 10% of the net profit in a bank, in a fund that is not going to be touched. It's going to only be used when there are crises just like this one we're going through now. So at least...
and I appreciate everything you're saying, and I agree with you. But one of the things that the phenomenon we're having is, even when you take care of people, even when you give them a percentage of the business, even when you give them promotion, they're still leaving. They're leaving for freedom. They're leaving for flex hours. They're leaving because they think they can make more money as an entrepreneur, whether it be in the beginning when they're working for Uber Eats, or they're working for Amazon, and eventually they're selling sneakers, or they're selling crypto. They all think that they have a better vision. So what we're finding, and we hear on the show all the time, and everybody I talk to, is we've given people really good packages and really everything they want. I mean, it seems like the minimum wage today is $100,000. It's like everybody wants to make $100,000, and they still leave because it's so easy to find another job. It's so easy that the grass is always greener. That, to me, is the biggest problem in our industry. Yeah.
But why is it a problem? Why do you want a long-term loyalty? Why can we not leave and adapt ourselves in short-term loyalty? I don't want people to stay with me for 20 years, because what happened after 5 years, their productivity is going to go down anyway.
Well, yes, but I think what we're seeing right now is not 5 years. We're seeing insane turnover rates where people are coming for 2-3 months and then for an extra buck or two.
Right. You stay with me for 18 months to 2 years, and I'll give you a gold watch like you retired for 10 years. 70% of hospitality jobs changed over last year. 70%. of hospitality jobs
Least, yeah.
changed over last year. No, that's a real number.
Yes, it
I
is
know.
definitely a real number.
I know,
Where I
but
got it from?
Well, I was on the show yesterday, but I wasn't sure if it was accurate. So did you get the actual labor
No, I
statistics?
got
It might
it
be
from
higher.
my daughter told me before. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
okay. I
No,
think it
But
might
the
be.
thing-
I think it might be higher. That's why I'm being
Yeah.
cautious with the
but
numbers.
you know,
the-
I love your answer.
Could very well be higher.
But
I
the
love
thing
your
is-
answer. Your answer is a great answer.
Yeah.
the thing is, Anthony, that is not the same everywhere, and it's all about the leadership. We also know that. I think we also need to look at what kind of leaders we have behind.
I'm gonna keep challenging today. I'm in the mood to challenge.
Oh,
No,
boy. Why
I
don't you
agree
look
with
around?
you. I agree with everything you're saying. The leadership makes a difference. The package makes a difference. Everything makes a difference. I agree. However, we are still finding, because of social media, because everyone sees the Lamborghini, because everyone sees everybody else doing well, because people are flaunting their money and they're flaunting their success, that everybody wants that. So I'm talking about America. I'm not in Mexico. I don't understand the difference, but I'm just talking generally here. In Mexico, you're probably right, but I'm letting my frustration or the hospitality industry's leadership's frustration channel through me. So everything you're saying is right, but we're still finding people have an attention span of 3 seconds.
Thanks,
yeah,
guys.
but you need to start somewhere.
I agree.
Anthony. You need to start somewhere. And the moment you start somewhere and you prove that by providing better benefit and better pay and better leadership to the people, then I think you can engage the people. And I'm not here to engage people for life. You know, in Italy, people stay until they get retired in that position. That's why I also had to leave my country, because otherwise I would be GM at 120 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to also have a career, and I had to leave my country because my country is very old-fashioned. But the thing is that I know we need to start somewhere, and the moment you start somewhere, you prove it, then you can replicate that model.
Right.
I agree with you 100%.
All right. So let me ask you this, Rocco. How are folks that are working in the hospitality industry in Mexico that are naturally born Mexicans different, in your opinion, than those folks that come up through the ranks in the United States of America or several of the European countries that you're familiar with?
You know, I tell you something. Anthony says something correct on the social media. You know, I was in Mauritius about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when they still had these candy bar phones, those days with SMS only.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there for 5 years. So the first year and a half, there was no smartphone.
Right.
The moment that they start selling smartphone, the culture of the island completely changed. The best people left. We only remain with the average kind of people.
Right.
And it was so difficult to manage hotels those days. Probably still is now.
Yeah.
But then I came to Mexico 10 years later. And let me tell you that the impact of social media in Mexico is not as bad as other countries.
Interesting.
So maybe it's a cultural fact. You know,
yeah.
people are more cohesive here.
Well, I will tell you, I ran a bread company years ago called Eche Panes, and our kitchen was full of really, really talented craftsmen in baking and women. And there were majority of them were Mexican, and I couldn't keep up with them. I'm a hard worker.
Right.
They work their butts off, and all they cared about was they wanted off Sunday for church and for soccer. They
Right.
come in Sunday night, but they want and to this day I see them and like I just hug them and I'm so excited to be around them because they're so hardworking. So the culture is different, and I understand that.
Now, even the culture can be changed. Again, we need to start somewhere. we got to do something, because to continue like we've been doing over the past 100 years in hospitality is not sustainable. It's not sustainable even as an investment.
But
People will not invest any longer if they see that there's no worth it.
Well, here in America, people are not investing in some markets in hotels or even in good markets because they can't find employees. So the first question used to be, how are you going to manage my property, to a management company? Right. Now the first question is, how are you going to find employees? And if there's not a good answer, you're going to go to another management company that has a better answer, or they're not going to build or take over that hotel because that's become a primary problem. But where I see the problem is everything you're saying, I agree with 100%. Until we invest in line employees on teaching them how to manage conflict, how to manage their insecurities, how to manage stress. If you do those three things and you put it at the line employee and the supervisor employee, when a general manager becomes a general manager, they'll be prepared. I was given general manager responsibility and I wasn't prepared. I was able to get through it just because, I just move fast and I'm afraid I'm just afraid. So I had a great team and I made it, but I shouldn't have been given general manager responsibilities when I was given general manager responsibilities. I did not have the ability for conflict resolution. I didn't have the ability. I didn't have any confidence. And to me, that's where we're losing our industry. There is no training. I talk to people off the record, executives in major brands, and I ask them,
right,
investing in training, and like they don't answer me or they laugh at me. There is no training.
Anthony, in the previous job in Quattro Ciénegas, we implemented a service charge. We just put a 10% service charge compulsory. I mean, compulsory was optional, but it was added automatically to the bill of the guest. We collected about $150,000 in a year. Out of this $150,000, about $25,000 were spent on training for the staff to develop their skill. Mm-hmm. Because giving all the money in cash was too much money for them. I knew what is going to happen. They will spend it in things that they were mostly useless. But I decided to keep some of the money and invest this money as a part of their training and development. And it paid back 100 times. We doubled revenue. We quadrupled profit.
And until we do that, and until we're transparent, I was fortunate enough to be in Austin talking to a company in the hospitality industry. And you should have seen the audience because we did a Q&A for a half hour.
Right.
And you should have seen when we were able to be transparent and we were able to be authentic, you can see the bubbles just burst. And I had the CEO of the company come over and say some really nice words to me about her own development during that half hour conversation. And we need to burst a bubble. We need to be transparent. Right. We need to say everybody's struggling. And we need to, like you said, we need to develop training, but real training, not bullshit training that you put in a book, you put on a shelf and you say, there's the checklist, or where a brand goes and say, here's the portal, go and take this test. Go scratch your ass. That doesn't work. Okay. That doesn't work. Okay. You need to be in the trenches with somebody and you need to show them. The reason you don't go to the front desk and tell a front desk person in front of the guest, hey, okay, I'll comp your charges. Sorry about that. You've just taken the employee at the front desk strength. You've just taken you've taken their soul. How do you give the guests what they want and also train that employee at the front desk? What they did was good, but maybe you should have done it this way. You can't train that in a book. You got to train that at the front desk when it happens. And that to me is where we're losing our industry.
Anthony, why don't you all come with Glenn? You move to Mexico.
That's a great idea.
Let's do something here, man. Come on. Mexico rocks at the moment. Everybody wants to invest in Mexico. Everybody wants to open hotels. So there's a lot of work to be done here.
Yeah, it's great. All right. So, Rocco, before we start heading towards wrapping up, what are the markets in Mexico you think are they going to be the hottest ones over the next couple of years and why?
Totally. Take note. You have pen and paper?
Yes,
Oaxaca.
I'm going to type it. Oaxaca?
Oaxaca, big time. There's so many hotels going there, so many brands that they want to get there. The second is the Pacific coast. So south of Punta Mita, there are so many new projects happening also there.
Right.
And the last but not the least is the Sea of Cortez. So because Los Cabos now so saturated with so many hotels, with that companies are now looking to get into the Sea of Cortez because obviously the beaches are more swimmable. And a lot of people, they think, let's go to Los Cabos, let's go to the beach. You cannot swim most of Los Cabos beaches. 95% of the beaches in Los Cabos, you cannot even get your feet into the water. But La Paz or the Sea of Cortez
Right.
is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, these are the three places that are really up and coming.
I love it. So there's a resort or a place called Xcarret. How do you pronounce that word?
Xcaret.
Xcaret. All right.
Xcaret. Xcaret. Xcaret is near Playa del Carmen. Is in Quintana Roo. Let's say Cancun Airport is the nearest one. It's extremely popular. It's one of those resorts where you go inside and you don't get out until you check out.
Yeah, one of my closest buddies and his family just came back from there, and they were in caves and they did all sorts of amazing stuff. Yeah,
I'm trying to find the name of the hotel we did for Extreme Hotels in Mexico. Azulik Resort. Azulik.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
what about Azulik? What do you want to know?
What town is that in?
It's in Tulum.
Tulum. So is Tulum is Tulum up and coming? Is that where people want to invest or no?
Listen, there is a lot of investment going up also there. There is so much happening in Tulum, but I have a feeling that it's getting very close to become overcrowded. There's no more space. Seaside, there is no more beach to be.
But the zoo looks beautiful. The resort is beautiful.
The Azulik is incredible. It's actually the owner built a second one in the jungle, which is even more beautiful. Architecturally, I'm talking, unbelievable.
And you can go to Discovery. You can go to Discovery Plus and watch Extreme Hotels, the show I did, and you'll see that hotel.
Wonderful. No, I've been there. I've been there. I know the owner. I've been to both.
No, you're supposed to say, "Okay, I'll watch that. Thank you," so I can promote watching the show.
Of course, Anthony. Of course, Anthony.
Sorry, I don't know what you guys are just talking about. I was running to Discovery Plus to go watch Extreme Hotels.
Right after this, Anthony.
All right. So Kyle was kind enough to get the actual statistics. He was correct when he put them up yesterday. Bureau of Labor Statistics here in the United States said turnover was between 70 and 80% in 2021. In February of this year alone, 77 million hiring and separations, totaling 70.6% in hospitality. Woo!
So so we have a much bigger problem than, with all due respect, than the traditional problems that we've had in the past. Our problems is not even in training. Our problems is showing people that this is what happens. Because I was in the hospitality industry, I went to Tulum to do a show. Because you're in the hospitality industry, you live in Mexico now and you're consulting. That's what we have to do. It's bigger than the front desk. It's bigger than one property. That this is a career that's global. And we have got to sing that and scream that from the rooftops in high schools, middle schools, colleges, everywhere.
Anthony, there is a guy, he's Italian, but he's Albanian of origin. He was born in Albania and migrated to Italy, many years ago when there was a war there, a civil unrest, and so on and so forth. His name is Kledis Ibrahim. He's a great guy. He's a young guy, but he's a great guy because he started a movement to change the young hoteliers' mentality, and to get them into a new way of acting and living and looking for jobs and stuff like that. I admire this guy because he's doing something in a very difficult country as Italy is.
Yeah.
And I'm supporting him, but definitely, as you say, we need to start also from the school. We need to start to get people already, behind their desk and get them to understand what does it mean getting into working life.
You want to see an Italian Albanian?
No way.
I was on the front cover of Albanian Tourism magazine. I spent some time in Albania doing consulting.
No way.
So there's an Italian Albanian right there.
That's amazing.
No, but you're exactly right. But again, I was in Albania. Why was I in Albania? I didn't even know where the hell Albania was. San Marino. I was in San Marino. I was like, that's a different country?
It is a different country.
Business.
Well, San Marino is like the size of Liechtenstein or something like that. It's very
absolutely. Absolutely. It's a matter of fact, when I was in San Marino, I met somebody from there. But San Marino is cool because you're like, they took me to dinner and they go, you're in another country. And I had no idea. I didn't know San Marino was a country. I'm an idiot. And so all I'm saying is this is all the hospitality. People look at me like you just said, oh, everybody knows Anthony Melchiori. People know me because I worked at a front desk of a hotel. A front desk of a hotel completely catapulted me into everything I'm doing. So that's the problem. We've got to take people like you, people like Glenn, people like me, and we've got to really give people takeaways of what happens when you work in a hotel, what your trajectory could be like. I'm going through that right now with somebody. It's like, listen, you can go and chase everything you want to chase at 22 years old, or you can build something. You know, you can take a lot of things away from me. The one thing you can't take away from me is my knowledge. There's not a hotel in the world I can't run better than anybody else. I'll run a hotel better than anybody. I'll run a hotel better than you.
Oh,
for sure.
It has been thrown down.
Hey, Glenn, I don't think I told you, but my son, as we speak, is studying hospitality management in The Hague.
That's awesome.
In Holland.
That's great. That's great.
About a year and a half ago, when he decided to get into hospitality, he said to me, Dad, I want to study hotel management. You know, I think there is some great opportunities. That was before the pandemic. That was 2.5 years ago. Sorry, 2.5 years ago. So he asked me some advice. And I said, Romeo, that's his name. Romeo, please make sure you don't do this for me. You do this for you, because this is your life. It's not my life.
Right.
And he said to me, yes. And then the pandemic struck. And then he asked me again, Dad, what do you think is going to happen to tourism? And I said to him, what do you think I'm doing here? Still working, because I still had a job. During pandemic, I still had a job and I was paid. I was paid less, but I was paid.
Right. Well, because he has to be paid less.
Yeah, of course, because we should pay more than rank and file stuff.
Yep.
So I told them, you are in the best position right now because a lot of people have left the industry and there will be so many opportunities out there. People is going to scream at you and say, come with me. They're going to grab you and they're going to give you a red carpet reception. So I think Dylan put a comment just now.
Yeah, Dylan is saying, for those listening to the audio feed, for anyone who feels they would fare well in hospitality, this remains one of the best times. I'd say the best time to start.
The best time. The best time. I never had so many job opportunities like now. Never in my life. Too much, actually.
Wow, that's incredible. Rocco Bova, how can we learn more about you at My Humble House, sir?
Well, you can follow me on LinkedIn. You can follow My Humble House on LinkedIn. Already have nearly 1,500 followers.
Wow.
Everything organic and it keeps growing day by day. So beautiful. I'm very confident that already there is a lot of people out there that they believe in this new model. And hopefully by the end of May, I will be announcing something incredible. So watch this space.
All right. Let us know. Rocco Bova, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you, friend.
My pleasure. Thank you for the big title, Passionate Hotelier. It's the best title ever.
All right. Rocco Bova. So, Anthony, that was a whole lot of fun. What are your takeaways? Because we haven't done enough talking to people in other countries to learn what's going on.
I think that he wins more Italian name than Anthony Melchiori. Rocco Bova. I mean, that's just like that, like Rocco Bova. He's like the heavyweight champion of the world. Rocco Bova. He's like Prime Minister of Italy. Like that name is it's just iconic.
I know.
What was the question?
I don't know.
Listen, I love what he said. I love his passion.
About other countries and stuff like that we were talking about. Yeah, go on.
I think, like I said, everything he's saying is 100% correct. However, if we do not do on-the-job real training and we invest in real training on the job, we have a problem.
Yep.
I remember somebody came to me in one of the brands and a good, passionate supervisor, and they just took a course online, and they were so depleted. They were like, I thought I was going to get trained. They told me to take a course, and then I have to go take the position. And you could already see their spirit is gone. It's like, that's not how you train. We, people in this industry, are nuts. We like the challenges.
Mhm.
We like that today, we're dealing with, plumbing and electric and art issues. And now tomorrow we're dealing with construction issues and we're dealing with gas. There's so much to
Right.
it. So to put somebody behind the screen, people like us that are in this industry, the last place we want to be is behind the screen taking a test.
Right. Yeah. That is not fun. I'll tell you, Anthony, you're absolutely right, because that's what people love about this business. It's something different every single day. That's why I love getting out on the road and doing stuff, kind of like we're going to be at Choice Hotels. Well, I'll be there if you come down there. We'll be there next week at Mandalay Bay. Then we're going to be going to Orlando. We're going back to Vegas for IHG's conference. I've got a speaking gig in Minneapolis, speaking to the HSMI people next month. It'll be so much fun traveling around, keeping things different out there. All right, everybody, before we wrap up,
I'm going to try to get out there, my friend.
Cool. Now, listen, guys, you out there, you don't have to worry about making choices. You can watch us either on video or audio. So whatever you're doing now, yes, the other is available to you. Follow us on our LinkedIn pages, novacancynews.com for video, even our YouTube page. Follow us on audio on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Samsung Play, wherever you get your shows. No Vacancy Live is right there in your pocket for you when you're out there walking that dog. All right, everybody, thanks so much for being here. And remember, you've got one life, so blaze on, and
be kind to yourself.
See you back at 5 p.m. tomorrow night, Friday Night Audit, and next week, the new slate.
Woohoo!